Hello, welcome to this seventh show of Living Off the Grid in the City with Hector Vladimir. Today is August 21st, 2015. In today's show, I wanted to quickly discuss a few points on my stance of having free entertainment available for everyone. I believe we shouldn't pay a dime to the entertainment system, the entertainment business industry. It is just an abomination as it is set up right now. It is largely corrupt and it is unbalanced to the fiction and entertainment side, and huge amounts of resources are diverted from actual necessary and very, very useful industries, areas, and markets. They're diverted to the entertainment business because it is just so profitable. Everyone wants that painkiller at the end of their day. They want to tune out and just forget about everything, all their responsibilities, all of their problems, and just watch somebody else's problems. Maybe they feel better when they look at everybody else's problems other than their own. Going back to my main point here about the disadvantage of paying for TV services. By the way, TV services are on the way out. When I say TV services, I mean the traditional TV services, network programming, where programming is just scheduled for your use, for your consumption, and it is non-interactive. Basically, they set it up for you to watch every day, and you have very little input other than tuning to the programming or not. Basically, you either turn it on or not, watch it or not. That's the only input you have in the traditional sense with TV services. One big disadvantage is the exposure to more and more extreme behaviors due to the nature of the economic competition among media providers. This is very true in my experience, my mind, my opinion. This is very noticeable, it's right there on the surface. All you gotta do is turn on your TV and browse the programming that's on TV these days. I mean, everything is about as extreme as it can get. And this is something the networks and the media owners are doing to attract more attention to TV in the wake of the internet, competition from the internet, satellite radio, and other sources of entertainment. But more than anything else, the internet. The internet is so powerful and is so attractive that TV services, traditional TV services, are on the run. A lot of them are just attempting to use the internet to attract attention to their programming on TV, or they're switching a lot of programming to the internet altogether. And this is a clearly desperate attempt to save an industry that should have been dead by now. Again, people are exposed to more extreme behaviors, and those behaviors do have consequences. There are many studies that back that up, and I will attempt to share those with you soon enough. Exposure to violence is manifold more than in past decades. Also, exposure to what used to be taboo sexual behavior. This is in primetime TV. I have seen this myself. This is not even after hours. This is during the day. All you gotta do is flip through the premium channels like any kid can do during the day, and there you have it. I guess the networks are counting on kids being in school during the day, but the fact of the matter is that many kids do miss days, and many kids do homeschooling, so they're wrong. In basic terms, the networks and the media providers, the traditional TV media providers, are on the run. They are doing, obviously, everything they can, everything they can throw at it, they will throw at it to keep themselves alive. Again, TV is a dying industry, and it's about time. It is about time that the industry is dying, and I hope it falls for good. There are better alternatives. The time-wasting, life-wasting, and the life-consuming disadvantages of TV can be buried with it. Also, there's very little incentive for educational programming, as seen in the falling financial performance of many of the educational programming and educational networks channels, such as Discovery, the Science Channel. I just saw that report recently about the falling financial performance of these networks, including the major networks such as Disney, Time Warner, and the like. Traditional educational channels have turned to ghost, zombie, sex and violence, and reality or gossip shows. Examples of those networks that have turned to such programming to see if they could boost their profits are TLC, the History Channel, Discovery Channel, etc. The History Channel, I remember not long ago, maybe in the early 2000s, it used to be a channel about history, which were mainly well-researched documentaries, programming based on past facts. Now you see a bunch of Sasquatch, Bigfoot, ghost hunters, gangland, and all these other programming that has very little or nothing to do with fact or history. And that being again a clear indicator that traditional TV programming is just on the defense, on the run. They're struggling. They're giving their last death throes and attempting to somehow save themselves, giving you what people want, what people will tune into, because they're just following whatever the mainstream is asking for. And mainstream is usually not the best out there. It's not the best for society, unfortunately. Same thing that happen in groups of humans. Usually the lowest and the worst behavior is the one that is followed. The best behavior is usually alone and rejected for whatever reason. This is very often the case. Group crimes are committed this way, where the worst behaved individual leads a certain crime. The rest either follows or does not do anything to attempt to stop it. Same way with TV programming, to where most people just watch the worthless and the programming that's just unuseful and harmful, and everyone else seems to fall in line and or not stand against it. They just let it go by, let it happen, let people talk about it. They don't criticize it. And good programming goes uncommented. No one talks about it. Very few people. And if they do, it's in very small groups. A huge disadvantage of paying for TV services is that it makes you feel like you're obligated to watch the programming you're paying for naturally. I mean, you're paying for it, turn it on, even if you're not even watching it, just to at least act like you're getting your money's worth. A lot of people watch TV initially without even wanting to because of this, just to justify their monthly payment, often very high monthly payment, and they waste their time. They become addicted to one or several shows eventually, and that's how they get hooked on TV, and they spend up to 40% or more of their time during the week, month, year, whole life watching fictional and useless TV shows. TV is increasingly expensive and increasingly resource demanding, resource intensive to maintain. This is for companies, networks, and media providers. They require space technology such as satellites, millions of miles of copper cable, millions of miles of fiber optic cables, technologies that could be used elsewhere for much more useful ends, such as communications, medical, internet, and the like. Internet would be probably many times cheaper than it is now, if not free, if it wasn't for the resources taken up by the entertainment industry. If the TV services were free, it would not be such large a spectacle as they are today. Something that is paid for eventually grows and expands and has more power over people as they are paying for it. And it basically grows into the culture, and people begin to see it and have it as an asset, as something to be proud of and something to show off to their friends. Like, yeah, look at me, I have cable. And whoever may not is looked at as being left behind and not advancing and not keeping along with everybody else. Computer-generated imaging, CGI, and cinematics are largely used for the high-end entertainment business. Today, there has been many movies made with the lower-end computer graphics, but for the most part, the big movie studios, Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, all the others, have bought and taken up a lot of the technologies on CGI and the other advanced cinematics. This technology would likely be dedicated for more useful and more valuable ends, such as education and instruction. Right now, it's just used for fiction for the most part, and it is highly expensive and apparently very profitable at the moment, providing just fiction, cartoons, action movies, etc.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please look for the next episode soon, and please ensure you like this content and subscribe as a sign of support for me to continue to provide this type of content to people like you. Thank you.